how's it going? Thanks for checking out another video. In this week's video, I want to talk about a camera that I've had for almost about a month now, so I have a really good understanding of how I like it, what I think of it. And I really just want to kind of go over that camera and talk about it and talk about the user experience with it and just my overall thoughts on who this camera's for. And that camera is this little Polaroid Go camera. So the Polaroid Go has been out for a few months now, and I'm kind of late to the game on reviewing it, but I wanted to give it like a month-long period of me using it as much as possible. And through a couple of parties, through a couple of times going out during the day and during the evening, I think I've really understand how this camera works, who it's best for, and is it really a good camera? So just a quick history of Polaroid, if you don't already know. They are the ones that invented the Polaroid film as we know it today. And they did really, really well for a really long time. But then in the 2000s, when the digital cameras were starting to come around, they didn't adapt too well, and throughout the 2000s didn't do that great, and kind of almost like went down the tubes towards the end of the 2000s, beginning of 2010s. So we almost lost Polaroid, and a company called the Impossible Project actually got all of their stuff, put it all together, and started pulling out Polaroid film again for Polaroid cameras. With such great success that they have, the original Polaroid bought the Impossible Project, or the Impossible Project bought Polaroid stuff, one or the other. I don't have the exact details, but became Polaroid again. And now we have these beautiful Polaroids back in our lives with a whole slew of new cameras that they came out with, including the One Step, the One Step 2, and a bunch of other sort of cameras. But their newest camera, their most, I'll say, forward-thinking camera in a long time, is this Polaroid Go mini Polaroid camera. And here's a couple of reasons why I think of that. One, they started a whole new form factor. Instead of having ones about this size, they actually have ones about that size now. So you got these tiny little baby Polaroids that come out of this and are just a lot of fun to use and just really easy to just take photos, put this in your bag, continue on your day, and have a tiny little Polaroid to remember that memory for. So let's go over the camera real quick. Let's take a look at the camera and just go over a couple things. So in the front, as you can see here, you have eyepiece that you see through, the actual lens, and then in the front right here is the little mouth where the actual Polaroid film spits out. On this side, we just have a charger for it. On the other side, there's nothing. If we go to up top, that's where you have the shutter button, and then over here is a button to turn off the flash. And then in the back, we have the power on button, and then if we hold it down, we could do a double exposure and also a timed exposure. And then over here, we have the eyepiece that we actually see through when we're taking a photo. And it's really clear and it's really bright, which is awesome for photography. But the biggest thing Polaroid did that changed the way this camera is as opposed to its other cameras. With its other cameras, when you load it in the film, it would go through the mouth would jump down and you would just pop it in. Now, the film goes in on the bottom. Basically, you just hit this lever, it opens, you shove the film in there, and then out spits that dark slide. But that is a new thing. The film going in the bottom as opposed through the mouth is a new thing. And the reason for that is probably just for space reasons, but also probably just to make it easier to use. So I spent about a month with this camera. And the first photos we're gonna look at really are when I went out and did it during the day and then evening, so that you'll see the difference. A couple of things I've learned is that the film is very obviously sensitive to light, and in bright daylight, this film might show a little bit of like a magenta hue on the photos, but a way to fix that is when the actual photo comes out, the dark slide that sits over it, the little curtain, if you let it sit there for like 5 to 10 seconds, it gives the film enough time to get going, get the juices flowing, so you're not overexposing the film, and that's really helped balance out my film. So these photos right here were when I was out during the day, and then again out during the night. And we're just gonna look through them. I'm just gonna kind of pass them through my hand instead of going through the scanner, just so you can get kind of a feel of what I'm talking about.
Turn it over for the second sight. The second sight. So as you can see with the daylight photos, they come out good, but
They can be a little overexposed at times. That's why utilizing that curtain when the photo first comes out is key. And then also once the photo is done processing, just sticking it in a dark pocket, your bag, your pocketbook, your front breast pocket, just somewhere where it could take the rest of like 2 to 3 minutes to fully develop. It's not like it was back in the day when our parents were using these where they developed really quickly. These need a little bit of time and a little bit more darkness to get, you know, just right. Now, these next two groups of photos we're gonna look at real quick are what Polaroids were always kind of really meant for, which is with hanging out with friends and hanging out at parties and stuff like that. So I have two groups right here that we're gonna look at real quick, just to kind of understand how good the flash is for this film, and then also how you can really get moody, fun, interesting photos by turning off the flash in a dark environment that's low lit at the same time. So the first photos we're gonna look at real quick are the photos from the party that I used the actual flash on. And you can see that the film is a little cooler at dark times with the flash. And you can actually see that the flash is really strong and powerful and really help lights up a dark room and gets your subjects lit well. So let's look at those photos and then we'll look at the ones without the flash. So as you can see, you know, those photos look really good. You know, they're decently sharp. I mean, this is not the sharpest lens in the world, but they're lit well. The flash did a great job, and I think they overall came out real good. So now let's look at the photos I took when this was for a 4th of July party when we were using sparklers and when we had the lights off and I had the flash off, and you could see that the film gets much warmer, and with the low light in there really gives it a moody, fun, interesting, artistic kind of vision. So those are the photos I took over the past month with this Polaroid Go camera that I think is honestly just amazing to own. Now, is this a great camera? I think so. I mean, the biggest thing is the portability of this. I could shove this in my jacket pocket or any bag I have and always have a Polaroid camera with me to capture memories of that time. Now, is it meant for everyone? Honestly, I absolutely think so. Usually cameras, it really goes one of two ways. Either like people that are hobbyists or just using it for family events and fun events, or people who are professional using it for professional stuff. This camera though, this is meant for absolutely everybody. For the hobbyists, for just the people that want to have fun photos at a party to give it that nostalgic feel and just fun. And then also in the same vein, professionals can absolutely use this for artistic photos. You're not going to be, you know, putting these in magazines, but I mean, nowadays nostalgia is king and it's ruling everywhere. And this camera is perfect timing for that because you can take fun, interesting double exposure images and also fun, interesting model and landscape images and use that nostalgic factor to give it an artistic look. So I honestly think this camera is for everybody. It's only $100. It's $120 for the camera and also film. I think it's a fantastic camera. I think if you're looking for a camera to just have at parties and have fun with, or looking to do something experimental and artsy with your photos, go pick this up. You're not gonna be disappointed. It's $100 and you get this perfect little Polaroid camera in your pocket. And over the past couple of months, I've been taking a lot of Polaroids through my trip and through my time here in Arizona, I've been making sure wherever I go to bring my Polaroid camera with me, just because there's nothing better than holding your film and holding your art and holding the moments of the night that you captured and the time that you were there and that captured it. So I am a huge fan of Polaroids. I mean, I've got tons of these. These are just all Polaroids from the past year and stuff, and I absolutely love them. So I highly recommend going out and getting these. Take some Polaroids, go out there and be artistic with them. Get the Polaroid Instant, get the Polaroid Go, have some fun with this film. We don't have to be serious about photography all the time. Sometimes we could just take photos to just have some fun, and that's really about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you go and get this camera and have some good times with it, and I would love to see the photos people take with it. So for now, remember to just shoot, subscribe, like. I'll see you in the next one, and yeah, go out, take some photos. I'll see you later.